Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm going to introduce a new series of videos called Perfect Scenes where I discuss in detail about one of my favorite scenes of all time, whether it's in movies, television or even anime. There is no better choice than to pick from one of Chris Nolan's huge library of iconic moments, and for me the docking scene from Interstellar is at the top of that list. Now, when Interstellar came out, it received a bit of a mixed reaction from the critics and audiences. Many claim that while it was ambitious, maybe it was a bit too ambitious for its own good. I did like the movie when I first watched it, but over the years I have begun to absolutely adore Interstellar to the point now that I feel that this is one of the greatest and most rewatchable movies of all time. And I'm not alone. The movie has gathered such a huge fan base that it has become a cultural phenomena. It had the most number of fans on Letterboxd, and that doesn't surprise me. There are many scenes to pick from Interstellar. You could make an argument for the mountain scene, the Tesseract scene, the ending, the cornfield chase scene, and the wormhole scene. There are many amazing scenes to choose from, but for me, the docking scene stands out for multiple reasons. Before we begin, please do not forget to subscribe to support this small channel. It would mean the world to me. Also, do let me know in the comments if there are any other movie scenes that you think are perfect, and I may just make a video on that. Dr. Mann lied about the fact that his planet could never be a home for human civilization, yet he pressed that button and faked the data hoping that someone would come out and save him. It is a cowardly move but a very human one. When Dr. Mann realizes that it's just a matter of time before Cooper and his crew find the truth, he tried to kill Cooper. He wanted to get away from the planet, and once in space, he wanted to continue the mission of going to the next planet. He knew that what he had done was cowardly and he could never tell the truth to Cooper, knowing how Cooper would never forgive him. A fight erupts on a planet far, far away. Dr. Mann leaves Cooper in a critical state and takes control of the Ranger. Fortunately, Amelia saves Cooper just in the nick of time, and Cooper reveals to her that Dr. Mann was lying the whole time. Meanwhile, Dr. Mann's living quarters on the planet has exploded and Romilly is killed. Romilly was probably killed because he was trying to retrieve data from Dr. Mann's robot, which was booby-trapped and was supposed to reveal the truth about the planet. Dr. Mann then takes control of the Ranger and heads towards the Endurance, where most of the resources of the mission is stored. Again, he aims to take control of the Endurance and head to the only remaining potential planet, Edmonds. The only issue for Dr. Mann is that he doesn't know the docking mechanism. Docking in real life is a very delicate process. The systems have to be aligned perfectly in order to have a perfect contact. But Dr. Mann is alone on the ship and he has no choice but to continue. It is important to remember that this is a man who was in cryosleep for 35 years and already had given up on life. So for him, taking a chance on docking with the Endurance is definitely worth the risk. Dr. Mann was not able to dock his Ranger with the Endurance properly. When he tried to enter the ship, the airlock explosively decompressed, causing the Ranger to impact the Endurance and explode, which I remember absolutely shook the entire ship.
It is nuts.
This leads us to the breathtaking scene that I have chosen to review. The resulting force caused by the explosion pushed the ship into the planet's atmosphere. The Endurance didn't have a heat shield, so it would have burned up on re-entry. Without the Endurance, there is no mission, there is no survival for both the crew and, more importantly, the human species as a whole. Amelia's reactions throughout this scene are very similar to how the audience reacts in the theater. That was a jaw-dropping moment. I love Cooper's reaction as he realizes what just happened. Also, people don't give Matthew McConaughey enough credit for his acting in Interstellar. I know people regard him as a great actor, but his work in Interstellar is so underappreciated. Cooper has this look on his face of both concern and determination. The face you have when you have to do something impossible and it's your only choice. Cooper's Ranger chases after the Endurance. The team is a bit puzzled about what his intentions are until he reveals that he plans to dock the Endurance, which is rotating at around 67 to 68 RPM. Remember when I told you that docking is a very delicate process? Well, now Cooper has to dock with the Endurance, which is both rotating and moving at the same time. That makes it impossible for docking. Then we get one of the best exchanges in cinema history when Case tells Cooper that it's not possible.
It's necessary.
I can say that I was not alone who had chills when those lines were uttered. Hans Zimmer's No Time for Caution swells in, starting with repetitive ticking like a watch to build the suspense. The Endurance is accelerating towards the planet, and it's only a matter of time before it enters the planet's atmosphere. Amelia reminds us that the Endurance has no heat shield, which means it will probably get destroyed in just a few minutes. The Endurance has already started to heat as the audience is still in awe of what just happened. Cooper can see that the Endurance is just above himself through the window. He's just 20 feet out. The amount of synchronization that is required to match the speed and spin of the Endurance is nothing short of a miracle. As Cooper managed to get directly under the Endurance where he would need to dock, he orders Case to initiate the spin, allowing Cooper's ship to spin as he attempts to match the rotation as well as the translational velocity of the Endurance. We then hear Zimmer's score starting to pick up even more, introducing these incredible organ scales that's so synonymous with the score of Interstellar, adding to the miracle that Cooper is pulling off. As the ship spins, the G-force becomes more and more powerful, and Cooper and Brand are shifted towards one side, and you can see that their blood vessels are straining. The force becomes too much for Brand and she passes out. During my first watch, I did not catch how close Cooper was to passing out as well as so many other small details about the Endurance heating up. Chris Nolan definitely knows how to amp up these scenes. With the ship finally matching the rotational speed of the Endurance, Cooper orders Stars to adjust the ship's position so that it is accurate enough for Cooper to raise the ship to dock. The way he says, "Come on, Tars," is just so epic, and now he is completely helpless and has to put his trust in something that he can't control. At this point, Zimmer's score is in full force, heightening the incredible emotion in this scene. Cooper is just about to pass out, and Tars manages to lock on and dock their ship just in time. Cooper then reverses his spin, allowing him to take control of the Endurance and reduce the G-force, making sure that they are far away from the planet's pull. Cooper and Amelia have a laugh about what just happened, so does the audience. Cooper, like a magician, tells Amelia, and for our next trick, well, he did not know that in the climax of the movie, he would have to jump into a black hole, contact his daughter by manipulating gravity, and save the entire population of Earth. One complaint that I have heard about this scene is that practically, it's just not possible to dock in those circumstances. To them, I always say, have you watched the scene? Case literally says that to Cooper, and Case is a machine. Of course, the movie acknowledged that it is impossible. That is the whole point of Interstellar, if you ask me. Interstellar at one point had a much darker ending, but I loved how Chris Nolan changed that into a more optimistic one. Interstellar, through its ambitions, dares us to become explorers, to dream, and personally made me dive deep into astrophysics, and I have been fascinated by it ever since. Do I understand it completely? No, but as Nolan has repeatedly said, don't try to understand it, feel it. This scene gives me goosebumps every time I watch it, every time I think about it really. George Lucas always told that John Williams' score was the secret sauce for Star Wars. In a similar way, I think Hans Zimmer's score is the secret sauce for Interstellar and most of Nolan's movies really. And personally, No Time for Caution is right up there among Zimmer's best. For me, a score of the movie is so important, it can enhance the movie so much. A few things that I noticed during my many rewatches of Interstellar was how Case gets to say the most iconic line in this scene. For some reason, I always thought it was Tars who said it. I also think Tars and Case are just excellent designs and characters in the movie. People obviously talk about the HAL 9000 computer from 2001 A Space Odyssey, and yes, that is the gold standard when it comes to machines and computers in movies, but the computers in Interstellar are totally different and serve a completely different purpose. One last thing that I want to touch about is about a few rotten Interstellar fanboys. Yes, you might have seen these people in your lives as well. These are people who look upon those who do not like the movie. They think that they are some genius next to Einstein or something. The know-it-all kind of movie fans. I recently watched Interstellar in the theater as it got re-released before Oppenheimer came out. There was this guy sitting right behind me who brought a friend or a girlfriend maybe. It was clear that she had never seen the movie before. But as soon as the movie started, this guy kept saying the dialogues that the actors were supposed to say, just to show off his knowledge with his girlfriend or something. It ruined the whole movie going experience for me. You might ask why I did not say anything to him. Well, for one, I'm an introvert, and two, I don't know about other countries, but people here are just waiting for a reason to fight, and I just did not want to get into one. But this is not a lone incident either. I've seen so many Indians who are Interstellar fans who do stupid stuff like this just to think of themselves so highly. I'm the biggest fan of Interstellar, but I do know some people who do not like the movie, and that is perfectly alright. I just hate this know it all movie fan culture. Yes, I get it, you know the script inside out. You might have watched it around 50 times, and that's great. But why do you need to show off your knowledge? I just hate this show off culture. So yeah, that was just my mini rant on some rotten fanboys. Again, not all. I think most of the movie fandom is great, but I had to talk about that incident. That wraps up my analysis on the docking scene from Interstellar. I hope you all like my video. Please do like and subscribe to show your support for the channel. We recently crossed 25 subscribers and I'm really surprised by the views I'm getting recently as well. I plan to release content regularly every week, hopefully improving each week. Again, thanks a lot for watching.